Donald Trump just upset a lot of people. A 12-minute audio recording of Donald Trump speaking to donors has leaked to the press. And in that audio recording, Donald Trump can be heard making a joke mocking the widow of one of his supporters that was killed at his rally in Pennsylvania. This is something else. The Guardian says they have a 12-minute audio recording of Donald Trump speaking to a group of donors back in August at a fundraising event in Aspen, Colorado. According to the article, Donald Trump unleashed a foul-mouthed tirade about undocumented immigrants and predicted that this could be the last election we ever have if Kamala Harris wins during a private fundraising dinner this summer. The Guardian obtained a 12-minute recording of a speech that the Republican presidential nominee gave at a dinner on August 10th in Aspen, Colorado, where attendees were required to donate anywhere from $25,000 to $500,000 a couple. Trump devoted most of his address to border security and immigration, recycling xenophobic claims now familiar from his rallies. Radical left-wing lunatics want people to come in from prisons, mental institutions, and insane asylums, he asserted without evidence, adding that the U.S. was harboring a record number of terrorists. Trump also cited a false example of 22 people he claimed had come to the U.S. after being released from prison in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. We said, "Where do you come from?" They said, "Prison." What did you do? None of your effing business what we did. You know why? Because they're murderers. In what will come as a shock to nobody living in reality, Trump completely made up this story about these guys from Congo. CNN put out an article fact-checking him on it. For months, Trump has told a story about how the Congo has deliberately emptied prisons to somehow get its criminals to come to the United States as migrants. Many prisoners let go from the Congo and Africa, rough prisoners, he said at an August event in Arizona. At an August rally in Pennsylvania the week after, he said, "In the Congo, in Africa, 22 people deposited into our country." Where do you come from? The Congo. Where in the Congo? Jail. But Trump has presented zero evidence that the Congo has actually emptied any prisons for migration purposes. Representatives for the governments of both the Democratic Republic of Congo and the neighboring Republic of Congo have told CNN on the record that the claim is fiction. Experts on the two countries say they have seen no evidence it is true, and Trump's campaign has ignored requests to offer any substantiation. This fundraiser took place at the $38 million home of some art collectors, and there were guests there such as Congressman Byron Donalds, Lauren Boebert, and even the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. The event took place about a month before the debate with Kamala Harris, and at the fundraiser, he gave a prediction about how Kamala would perform, and he was way off. Trump told the audience, "I'm telling you, we have a radical left person that's going to be president. If she wins, it's going to be a disaster. She wants to be president very badly. Thank God she's supposed to be horrible at debating, although she's nasty, and she's supposed to be really bad at interviews. She can't do an interview." Well, that did not work out the way Trump thought it would. Most people have said that Kamala Harris won the debate, but it was Trump's comments reflecting on surviving the assassination attempt against him in Pennsylvania that steered him into disgusting territory. This is where Trump thought he would inject some humor and make a joke at the expense of the widow of the man who was slain at the same rally. According to The Guardian, Trump also reflected on surviving an assassination attempt at a July rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where 20-year-old Thomas Crooks opened fire from a rooftop, killing firefighter Corey Comparator, 50, and injuring two other Trump supporters. Trump told how members of his Florida golf club, Mar-a-Lago, asked to make a contribution to Comparator's family. "I said absolutely, and they gave me a check for $1 million. That's a lot of money. Maybe even more impressively, we put out a GoFundMe and we raised more than $6 million for the group that got hurt, which is essentially 3 people. Then, recalling a meeting with Comparator's widow, Helen, he made a risky attempt to find humor in the tragedy. So, they're going to get millions of dollars, but the woman, the wife, this beautiful woman, I handed her the check. We handed her the check, and she said, 'This is so nice, and I appreciate it, but I'd much rather have my husband.' Now, I know some of the women in this room wouldn't say the same." As dinner guests erupted in laughter, Trump quipped, "I know at least 4 couples. There are 4 couples, Governor Abbott, that I know, and you're not one of them. At least 4 couples here would have been thrilled, actually." That just feels so wrong for Donald Trump to make a joke about that woman's situation. Her husband was violently killed at a Trump rally in front of his family. This is not something you make a joke about. What's wrong with this guy? It just shows how Donald Trump doesn't care about anybody and that he can't even be sensitive to the worst situations. I always find it wild that Donald Trump says God must have been involved in saving him because he turned his head at the last moment to look at a chart that he normally shows at a different point during his rally. But in that same moment, God took the life of one of the people in the audience and critically injured a couple of other people. That doesn't sound good. It sounds completely tone deaf to say that I was spared and completely ignore that others in the audience there supporting you did not have the same outcome. I'm sure the widow of the man killed at his rally will be thrilled when she finds out that Trump is making a mockery of her statement about wishing she still had her husband. This is just another example of how depraved and sick this man is, and we cannot be done with him soon enough.